You were born with your gifts. That's a message that came through this morning from my Wilhelm, which is on my site, anyadvicefortoday.com, and I'm going to explain it to you and what it means to me. Every single person is born with a gift. There's not a single person ever who doesn't have a gift that they were born with. And the only problem is we call it something different. We've labeled it something that was maybe strange or weird or different from everyone else, and we made that wrong, and so we didn't consider it to be a gift, because that's what I did. I thought what I was doing was really weird and wrong, and so I couldn't talk about it or give it to people because I would be judged, and I see that going on so much with my clients. Every single person has something. Now, you may not discover it until you start moving through your life and doing things and having experiences. And then you may not discover it unless you actively do something to try to find it. That's really what's going on. And sometimes that becomes a little too scary. I just finished with a client in South Africa just a little bit ago, and he was freaking out about things. And he says, I don't know what's going on. I'm not sure what's changing. I said, you're being affected by what's going on in the world. But see, the problem is we don't feel sometimes that we individually are that important, that we can do that much to make a difference. And I'm saying you can. Because if more of us knew who we were and would accept our gifts, we wouldn't be having a war right now. We wouldn't have had any of the wars ever. But we as a civilization evolve, slowly sometimes. And we as individuals don't do it at all. I didn't do it for a long time. Would not accept what I was doing because it seemed so strange, even though I had the results. I talk about this because I have to be really transparent, because I want to tell you the process, because everybody has it. You can do it if you choose to. Because my life was so challenging and I had to go through so many things very early on, I started searching. I started studying. I started finding out, where can I go? Where can I get? And then I started meditating, and then I started receiving information, and that seemed crazy. I tried to hide that for the longest time, except I was creating things from it. I wrote a book. I created programs. I learned a skill. I did everything from that. And then I started thinking, wait a minute, this is too strange, because I obviously channeled something that's based in science. Now, you probably know, or if you haven't, you're figuring this out. We are finding the connection between spirituality and science and how it relates to human development, because that's all we're doing, is developing as humans in every civilization. We're doing it again. However, what's happening now is we're having a splitting apart, and that's happened before as well. And my Wilhelm said, well, you're going to choose. You're going to choose who you want to be. And that choice is going to be, are you here in the world to make a difference for others or just for yourself? And that's the choice that's going on. They also told me, I'm saying this because all of the information, everything we're seeing in the world now, I was told, everything that's happening, my Wilhelm gave us that mainly in the live conversations, if any of you have listened to that or if you've been there. And I thought, I don't know where this is taking us, and I didn't know what it meant. But now I'm seeing it. And what it was saying, that we are having a change in the world, and you can see it. First, they said it's a shift in wealth and income inequality. And that's what you see happening in the world right now. Then they said, I was given a long time ago, years ago actually, that chaos creates unity. We've gone through many changes in society throughout history, and it causes wars and killing, and people die. That's what happens. But then, think about it. Do we think we're going to live forever? No. So what are we doing? We're here on the earth to make a difference, to leave something so the world can evolve. And that is always about offering something that can help more people. That's the only way the world survives. I wasn't doing that, because I couldn't trust what I was feeling and getting and receiving. And even though I saw it in my clients all the time, and I thought, I can't do this anymore, because this is a different period. I have received all of this information knowing what was coming, and was uncomfortable talking about it. Another thing, We're all looking at, or most people are looking at what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, what Putin is doing and all of that, except that's been going on for a really long time. And I've known that as well. And I've seen the energies changing all over the world where the autocrats and dictators and all that were trying to control the power. But then the world changed. And you can feel that the world has changed because of everything that has happened, but also it's just what the world does. It's what the universe does. And this is that big change. So we're going into a place where we need to care more about one another. Because we saw that the war all over the world, people in other countries are saying, we have to help. We have to stop this. We have to do something. See, that's what happens. And all of this information came to me and I thought, if we had more people who were empowered, this wouldn't have happened. And I'm talking about more people over generations. That's what it is. Because see, we carry systemic inferiority. And that way, when more people do that, and if you understand, if you study quantum physics a little bit or mechanics, any of that, you kind of get a sense of what I'm talking about because you understand how we create things individually and as collectively as the world. I know it may not completely make sense, but that is what goes on. And science has developed to a point where we can begin to understand that, but we don't understand it unless we're willing to look and study and then work on ourselves. And that's what I did. But the other part of this, because of this wealth and income inequality, I have to change. And I know I have done this. My entire life, what I've done is I don't ask for money for things, especially if I'm not sure what it's going to do. I've always been that way. Many of you who have known me as a coach, a vocal coach, know that I did that. I will not give you something if I'm not sure that it works or it gives you the results. This I know gives the results because it gave me the results. So, and I also know that we put value on how much we're paying for something. And I didn't charge enough. I talked about this quite a bit. I went to my coach, my mentor, my last mentor. I've had so many, but my last mentor, when I first went to him a few years ago, I saw that his rate for a consultation was $12,000 an hour. $12,000 an hour. I'm like, no, that's crazy. People don't live like that. Yes, they do. And you're seeing them in the world now. And that's why people are trying to get that money and distribute it to everyone else. But I have to make a bigger difference. There's another group that I'm involved with where they're actively going after, want to go to the elite, those who have all the money, and then cause them to become spiritually awakened because that can make the biggest difference in the world. That's my friend Elvira Hopper. She's wonderful. And that's what she's doing. I'm part of her group. That's what we're going about. But it's been me. I have not valued this, just like I say to all of my clients, you don't know who you are. And it's difficult because we don't know that until we've lived and we can kind of see what's there. But what I'm saying to you is I'm raising my rates on my course, 4 Weeks to Your Best Life. It's going to raise. I'm going to double it because I know it's worth more than that. I did a little survey online the other day. I said, how much would you pay for a program that would take you from 1 month? And 1 month can take you from being completely fearful to being more confident. And from thinking you have no life purpose at all, to seeing that you have one. And when you've been living a life where you've been judging yourself and thinking you did everything wrong, only to come around within a month and discover, oh, wait a minute, I did some things right. This was okay. Everyone can do that. And that's what happened with people who went through that program. And so I know the value of that, and I have to start to get it put it in the world. Otherwise, it doesn't make a difference. My entire program was getting us all to understand one thing. It's not about the money. It's not about anything physical that we're doing here. We don't live forever. You know that. So what is it? What are you leaving? And what you can leave is who you are, your essence, your legacy. And that's what I'm intending to do. I've lost money plenty of times. I've been broke so many times I can't even tell you because of the way that I've lived in the past. And I don't allow my clients to do that anymore because I can see it pretty clearly. However, this is a new area, not new area, but it's one that I completely understand now, and I know how valuable it is in the world at this moment. That's a whole nother thing I'll go into at some other point. However, I would advise you to take a look at the program. the program itself, and also for those of you who want private sessions, look at that, because everything's going to change as I'm moving into this new area of my life. I'm realistic. I don't have that much time left. And so I have to give what I can. We never know when we're going to leave the earth, but I'm 71, so do the math. I know that this is something that can help people come to know and love who they are. And that's the only thing I've ever cared about. And if you've worked with me, you know that. You felt it. And this is a time where I have to really say, okay, no more playing around, because I've told you before, when I saw what happened, I just felt this horrible sense of guilt, which my Wilhelm says, don't do that. But I felt this regret, because I thought maybe if I'd done a little bit more, maybe the energies in the world would have been different. Maybe I could have caused more people to come to know who they are and their value and how important they are in being in the world right now, because this is, everybody alive right now is really important, because this is a big shift. Most people haven't experienced this. None of us alive have experienced what the world is moving through right now. Things similar, but not exactly this. So you should really be proud of yourself that you decided to be here at that time. But you'll be prouder of yourself when you decide to own who you are and acknowledge your gift, decide to develop, and it doesn't matter what it is, because it's something. We always discover it. So I invite you to look at this, and you'll see that it's going to be something that is going to help you finally come to this place of owning yourself. One thing, know this right now. The next few weeks are going to still be really crazy. It is the best time in the world to focus on what you're doing, because it takes time for these changes to come about and for everything to become settled. So it's just going to be a while. We'll deal with that later, but it's going to be a while. So the best thing is to always work on you at this time. Also, I'm doing a channeling session on this Friday, because it's going to be a very powerful time, and we need to come together and own this, who we are, and offer our essence, which is this loving person, to the world, and share your gift. You do have it. All right, I'll see you guys soon.